it states, do not cancel the plan God has for us.
There's going to always be a Sunday for the believer of Jesus Christ.
I'm going to run. I'm going to double time. I'm going to do it all, saints of God. I'm going to do it all for the Lord.
And so we wrote this a couple months ago on vacation because I was thinking, Brother Lawson, some of us are closer than we think to our breakthrough or to what God has for us. But here's what ends up happening a lot of times. We end up throwing in the towel right before it happens. I'm giving it to you today, right? So we're going to delve into, the scriptures are up there. Please get those scriptures. This is going to be the scripture of the day. Listen to me. We have got to keep building because we are closer than you think. But here's what's interesting. You can't see how close you are, but God knows how close you are. And you're much closer than you think. But because the building is so painful, it's so arduous, that Stephanie, we throw in the towel too soon. Now, here's what we want to get you to understand today. You do have every right to throw in the towel. And God has every right to take that blessing and give it to somebody else. I want you to get this now. No one here today is throwing any shade at anybody about giving up. But I do want us to get this one thing correct. God then has the right to take your blessing and give it to someone else. Because he has to make sure the blessing comes. It's not just to bless the Lawsons. There are other people other than the Lawsons that are going to be blessed by their business. But if they throw in the towel, God takes that blessing and gives it to somebody else because he has to get the blessing to us. Are we on the same page now? We're getting ready to get into this thing now. And you're going to give me 20 minutes at 11 o'clock. You're going to give me 20 minutes and I'm going to be done by 11:20. But I want you to get this now. You are being blessed for the Lawsons. He does want the Lawson family blessed. But he doesn't only want the Lawson family blessed, he wants the Henderson family to be blessed. So he blesses the Lawson overflow, and then Henderson's blessed. Overflow, then Siler's blessed. Overflow, then Pittman's blessed. But it all started with who? Only one clap. Okay, cool. No problem. No problem. Hard crowd today, but no problem. No problem. Because everyone should be clapping because it means that if I don't give up, not only am I going to be blessed, but who else is going to be blessed? Everyone is going to be blessed. There are these organizations where you go in and everybody is on fire. Why? Because everybody is blessed. But it didn't start with everybody being blessed. But it ended up with everyone being blessed. So let's delve into it today. Now, in Nehemiah, let's go to Nehemiah 4:6. I want you to see a couple things here today, right? So we live in this culture of immediate results, right? We want microwave blessing. We want overnight success. We want immediate harvest without planting, right? But here's the deal. There can be no celebration without construction. We want the celebration, but we don't want the labor of constructing. We want the celebration, but we don't want the labor of building. And so we get to this place where we say, this is hard, and I'm going to what? Throw in the towel. Here's what's critical. One of the mysteries of life is this right here. You usually can't see progress while you're inside of it. But you're progressing. But it doesn't feel like I'm progressing. Why? Because you're inside of it. But you are progressing. This is a true mystery. You look up one day and then, whoa, you have so much that you've accomplished, but you didn't feel like you were accomplishing anything while you were building. Let's go to Nehemiah really quick here. Let's go to Nehemiah. Let's look at the first thing, Nehemiah 4:6. Let's read that together. Nehemiah 4:6. The first thing I want you to see is this right here. You got to start laying bricks. This is the first point. Oh, I gave a couple points, but this is the first official point. You must start laying bricks. Look at Nehemiah 4 and 6. Let's look at that together. So built we the wall, and all the wall was joined together unto the half thereof. For the people had a mind to what? Now listen, it says, so built we the wall. It doesn't say, so we discussed the wall. So built we the wall. It doesn't say, we wished for the wall. So built we the wall. It doesn't even say, we prayed about the wall. So built we the wall. It doesn't even say, we fasted about the wall. It says, so built we the wall. What does it mean? There has to come a time in your life where you begin to start laying bricks. You're going to have to get busy working at some point in time. We got to stop talking about it and start being about it. We're going to have to start doing it. There has to come a time where what? Bro, I can't talk about this anymore. I got to start laying bricks. It says, so built we the wall. Now, here is something I really don't want you to lose this right here. At some point in time, the people got this mind to work, but it wasn't always there. If it was always there, there wouldn't have been a need to build a wall. I don't want you to lose this. There comes a time in our life where we're just sort of lackadaisical. I had that time in my life when I was a child, right? Just no motivation, no initiative, right? Just wanted to cruise, bust a move and cruise. But there comes a time where you say, hey, I'm done being a child. I've got to be about the business of being a man. I got to then start doing what? Laying bricks. I got to start laying bricks. And some of us right now, 40, 50 years old, and haven't laid a single brick in our life. I'm just letting you know, you got to get started laying bricks. If you're going to have something for people to come into one day, you're going to have to start laying bricks. You're going to have to start laying bricks. And so Nehemiah says that what? The people had what? A mind to work. Now, when you look at these young people today or anybody today, you have this idea where some people say, well, I'll wait for somebody else to lay the first brick. I'll wait for somebody else to lay the first brick. I'll wait for somebody else to get started and then I'll come and join them. No, my dear sweet friends. You got to lay the brick in your own life. My mother and father can't lay bricks in my life. They may throw stones, but they can't lay bricks. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Right? They can't lay bricks in my life. Therefore, they can't lay bricks in your life. But many of us will come and get prayer from Bishop Pulliam, and it's as if we're expecting God to come down and lay the bricks. And this is the other thing I want you to see. God did not lay the bricks for them. Who laid the bricks? They laid the bricks in their life. It's important that we get started laying the brick. Many of us got things that are in our soul, in our heart right now, and we're like, oh, Lord, I'm waiting for you. God has already told you to do it. Why? Because he's already touched your heart for you to go ahead and do it. Get started laying bricks, amen? So that's the first thing we want to see. Now, here's the second thing. Progress often appears while you're still working. Okay, this is the second point. Progress often appears while you're still working. Let's look at Nehemiah 6 and 15 together. Nehemiah, and usually I'll just only take one verse, but this is a very important sermon, so I had to take a couple. So I appreciate your patience with me. But let's look at Nehemiah 6 and 15. So it says, so the wall was finished in the 20th and 5th day of the month, Elul, in 50 and 2 days. It says, so the wall was finished in 50 and 2 days. Now, so let's look at this really quick. The people in Nehemiah did not stop working and suddenly discover a wall, right? The progress was happening what? While they worked. Now, let's look at this really quick. While they were lifting stones, progress was happening. While they were sweating, progress was happening. While they were tired, progress was happening. While they were carrying burdens, progress was happening. while they were dealing with opposition, progress was happening. What was happening? The wall was rising. The wall was rising. And that's what happens, Sister Rochelle, when we're consistent, things begin to rise. You say, oh, I wish things would happen with my bank account. Where's the progress? Where's the progress? Oh, I wish things would happen at home. Where's the progress? I wish things would happen in my walk with God. Where's the progress? You look and see what happens here. I want you to see this here really quick. It says, look, they couldn't see it while they were in it. They were laying their bricks. Day 5, someone said, do you see anything? Not much. You see it in the text, it says 50 in 2 days. That means day 5, Mayana, they were looking and they said, I don't really see much. Then day 15 came. You see anything? No, not much. Then day 20 came. You see anything? No, not much. Then day 30 came. Day 30 came. And sister, no, do you see anything? No, not much. Then day 40 came. You see anything? Not much. But then day 52 came, Kyla. And it was finished. And it was finished. Now you say, well, what does that mean? Here's the thing that God wants you to see today. Progress often happens while you're still working. But you say, but I don't know. That sounds difficult. Here is what you have to realize. It doesn't happen immediately. It's the truth. But somehow, some way, year after year, day after day, you look up and then there's something there. You say, well, where did it come from? It came from your consistency. Now this may not seem like a very exciting message, but I hope that you're getting something from this. Because here's the deal. You don't look for progress. Progress looks for you. You don't find progress. Progress finds you. Where does it find you? Day after day after day after day, being consistent. Keep building. You're closer than you think. Now, here's something I really want us to get from this right here, and I wrote this down. The only way progress finds you is if you're consistent and focused. Now, let's talk about this thing about focus. Okay, good. We got 10 minutes left. Let's talk about this thing called focus. What does it mean to be focused? Have you ever thought about that for a second? What does it truly mean to have unbridled focus? It means that nothing distracts you. But so many of us, we're distracted every phone call. I got to take this phone call. I got to take this phone call. Every alert, every single thing distracts us. And then we look back, 35 years have gone by, and there is nothing substantial to show for it. One of the things we have to become very comfortable with the fact is what? Are you distracted? And don't say, oh, I got to take this phone call because I'm doing ministry. Are you distracted? Or are you focused? Do you have an unbridled focus about what God has called you to do with your life? Or is it easier to just be distracted by other folks' problems? Have you ever noticed how good it feels when someone comes to you with their problems? Don't y'all hang up on me. Don't y'all? Okay. Now you really want to be. Have you ever noticed? Here's the deal. You're not glad that the person has problems, but for a second you don't have to think about your problem. I know it's true. I'm glad I got one person that's truthful. That's why we're so busy to talk to someone else about their problems versus focusing on our problems. Because I can get a break, Rashanis, from thinking about my problems. But in all actuality, thinking about somebody else's problems is a distraction. Because we're not focused on what God has for us to do. Therefore, we stop building and we pivot and focus on their problems. Because here's what we know in Nehemiah. While some worked and built, others took their weapon and they stood guard. And no, talking to somebody else about their problems is not taking standing guard, right? Here's the third thing I want you to see. Nobody builds great things alone. Now, this is a really important one. Let's go to Nehemiah 4, 16 through 17. Nobody builds great things alone. Let's look at this. And it came to pass, Nehemiah 4, 16 through 17. And it came to pass from that time forth that the half of my servants wrought in the work, and the other half of them held both spears, the shields, and the bows, and the habergeons. And the rulers were behind all the house of Judah. Verse 17. They which builded the wall, and they that bear burdens with those that laid it, every one with one of his hands wrought in the work, and with the other hand held a weapon. Half worked, half stood guard, half protected, half carried. Everyone had an assignment, but here's the critical thing. The wall was bigger than one person, and the mission was bigger than individual feelings. But sometimes we'll get in our feelings, and so we'll say, you know what? I'm not going to go ahead and support, or I'm not going to help you with whatever. But the wall is bigger than any one person. So it takes all of us. But if one of us pulls out and doesn't carry their load, Kyla, that means somebody else has got to carry Kyla's load and their load. That's why we've got to be consistent. Because our inconsistency, what? It affects those that are around us. And what God is asking you today, can't you be consistent with what I've given you? Please be consistent with what I've given you. Because there are lives that are at stake if you would just what? Stay the course. But it's a difficult thing to stay the course if you don't really come to the understanding that what? Everyone around me needs me together. Now, here's what I want you to see here. No man or woman is an island. Churches are built what? Together. Families are built what? Together. Communities are built what? Together. Businesses are built what? Together. Jurisdictions are built what? Together. Nations are built together. So what is God telling us in these last 6 minutes? It takes all of us. It takes all of us. So when one of us says, I'm not going to do my part, what happens? It affects what? All of us. But we have to keep building. Why? Because we're closer than we think. And God is letting Light of the World know, not only is Light of the World closer than it thinks, but Stephanie's closer than she thinks. Siler is closer than she thinks. Reed is closer than she thinks. Francois is closer than he thinks. You're closer than you think. But you cannot stop laying bricks. So now here's the last part, and then we're going to go to Calvary. Here's the final point. Construction comes before celebration. Let's look at Nehemiah 8:1. Nehemiah 8:1. Construction comes before celebration. Let's look at Nehemiah 8:1. All the people, how many people? How many people? How many people? All the people gathered themselves what? Together as one man into the street that was before the water gate. And they spake unto Ezra the scribe to bring the book of the law of Moses, which the Lord had commanded them. All the people gathered themselves as one person. Why? Construction comes before celebration. After labor, after sweat, after work, after consistency, then we get chapter 8. You want to write that down? Chapter 8 comes after chapter 4. Not only just chronologically, but literally. In chapter 4, they had to do the labor. In chapter 8, they did the celebration. That's why I had to cover a little bit of ground in this term. Well, you said, what does that mean? You're not going to have chapter 8 before chapter 4. This is the way God designed it. You will never have chapter 8 celebration if you don't have chapter 4 labor. And you're going to have to be consistent from chapter 4 through chapter 8. But this is what God is really saying to us. Many people want chapter 8, but they won't do chapter 4. I said, God, you're kidding me. I said, it can't be that. It's just that simple. That's the way I designed the world. You work, then you have fruit. You go and work the field, you plant the seed, you water it, the fruit comes, you eat the fruit. You give 10% of the fruit back to the church, and you get to keep 90% of the fruit. He said, but many people right now just happy just having seed. I said, well, what's the purpose of having seed if you're not going to plant it? You want to hear what the Lord said? Nothing. Right now, you have seeds inside of you. You haven't planted a daggone thing. What's those seeds worth? Nothing. Now, you don't blame me now. No, you can get upset about YouTube stuff about me, but don't get upset about this now. Y'all should have been done being upset with me. You could be upset with me when I said stuff about Facebook and YouTube, but not this now. This comes from God. I said, what does a seed, well, I said, God, what's the purpose of seed then? Ain't no purpose of seed unless if you don't plant it. But if they would just plant and work, I will give the increase. I said, but God, what about all these other people across the tracks that done all this evil stuff? But they working though, right? I said, yeah, okay. I can't not cause seed to grow. Unless I'm bringing some kind of travesty or whatever. But I can't say, oh, you're bad, but you did the work, so you can't get the fruit. No, they get the fruit too. He reigns on what? The just and unjust. So you have seeds in you just like the unjust do. But the unjust are not afraid to work. But for some reason, for us Pentecostals, we do Kawasaki coming on the Hyundai before we'll stick a shovel in the ditch or in the piece of dirt to dig it up. You get what I'm saying? Let's look at this now. This is very, very, very important for you. It's very, very, very important for you. Look at this right here. Now, here's the deal. They opened the book. Ezra opened the book. The people gathered together. Joy broke out. Worship broke out. Celebration broke out. The celebration came after the instruction. Okay, here's the deal right here. Now, here's what I want to share with you. Too many want harvest without planting. I shared a little bit about this, but I want to leave this aspect right here. Too many want finished walls without laid bricks. Well, I only got 2 minutes left. Let me give it to you one more time. Too many people want a finished wall, but they don't want to lay any bricks. I say, but that can't be people a lot of the world. Sure enough. All right. I'm just, some of us do want the finished wall, and we don't want to lay no bricks. I'm being real with you now. Some of us really do want Mercedes, whatever it is you want, but we don't want to lay bricks. And you can't. I'm here as your homie. I can't let you keep lying to yourself, thinking that I cannot go through the process of laying bricks, yet one day I'm going to wake up and God has built me a wall. It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry, it does. And I'm with you. I'm the laziest person probably in this room. I would love it if I could just, and the wall was just built. If the mortgage was just paid. If the car note was just paid. If the health insurance was just paid, right? We're going to make groceries out the church today. If I could just walk up to Walmart and say, I'm going to load my basket up with $250 worth of groceries, and then they're going to say, just let me walk right out the building. Is that going to happen? Is that going to happen? But some of us are thinking the same thing with God as if I don't have to lay any bricks, but then I'm going to wake up one day and there's a wall. Sister Henderson, it doesn't work that way. So the Lord wants us to understand this today. Here's where we're getting ready to go to. Let's go to Calvary. Now, when we go to Calvary, can you all give me 2 more minutes? 2 more minutes. Okay. Now, let's go to Calvary because I really want you all to see this. So now, Nehemiah, the last and final wall we're going to deal with is the wall of sin. So there is this wall called sin that separated us from God. And so God, since the dawn of time, has been trying to destroy that wall. He sent Adam and Eve, or gave Adam and Eve life. Then he sent his prophets, right? Then he sent certain kings. He sent certain evangelists. The wall still stayed up. So Jesus Christ, before the foundation of the world, said, I will go and destroy the wall. But now, let me share this with you. God and Jesus had a conversation. It's going to be hard work. So here's what happened. This is what I want you to understand about the hardness and the labor that Christ went through. And I want you to see this so that we can understand what happened about this whole idea of construction before celebration. Now, as they built the wall in Nehemiah, Jesus also kept building. When they lied on Jesus, he kept building. Why? Because he knew he had to get what? To the cross to tear down what? The wall of sin. So when they lied on him, he kept building. When they mocked him, he what? He kept building. When they spat on him, he what? He kept building. When they beat him, he what? He kept building. When he got to the Garden of Gethsemane and he wanted to throw in the towel, what did God ultimately say? Keep building. You're closer than you think. You're closer than you think, Jesus. Just keep building. So Christ went then to Pilate. And then he kept building. Then they put a rugged cross on his back. But he kept building. Then they took nails and a hammer, and they hammered the nail into his hand. He kept building. Then they took a nail and hammered it into his feet. He kept building. Then they took a spear and pierced him in the side. He kept building. Then he died on the cross. He kept building. They put him in the tomb. He kept building. That was Friday. But on Sunday, he got up with all power because he was closer than he thought. He kept building. You're closer than you think. You've got to keep building. It's hard, but you've got to keep building. It's tough, but you've got to keep building like Christ. We will have our Sunday. Like Christ, we'll have our Sunday, but Sunday comes what? After Friday. Sunday comes after Friday. We got to go through Friday to get to Sunday. But Sunday's coming. But right now it's Friday in some of our lives. The resurrection is coming in your life, but you have got to what? Keep building. Why? Because we're closer than we think.